Into it. Let's talk about BlueChew. It's popping up everywhere. It's on everyone's feed. It's
every social media platform as well.
Every social media platform. It's everywhere, right? And so, being older, I guess I come from more of that Viagra era, which was more of like kind of a party drug, and then for old men, right? And that was really it. Like there was no
in between.
Yeah, I mean, for your era, it was structured for people with heart issues.
Well, I mean, it was like you're 60 years old and couldn't get it up.
Yeah. Oh,
right. So like,
was it like a heart medication or something?
No, people had heart attacks when they were on it.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, it hurt the heart, not help. Yeah.
No, it was made for erectile dysfunction. That's what it was made for.
Yeah.
But it was definitely catered to like the 50 and over group, because it was like everyone's dad was on it. Not so much like if you're in your 20s, you definitely weren't.
I think a little bit later in time is when Cialis came out, which is my era.
Yeah, right. So we got 3 different eras of pill drugs, right?
Well, now
Michael's got the combination of both.
Yeah. So BlueChew offers both, right? Yeah. So I mean, you guys have an experience with each of them. Well, they give you the option to choose from one or the other, and obviously, you know, each one has their different aspects on how it affects you. But
which I think is one of the powerful aspects of BlueChew and their products is because they didn't take just one ingredient and focus on that. They're doing the
Tadalafil. There you go.
What's the other one? The sildenafil. So one of them is the main ingredient in Viagra. The other one's the main ingredient in Cialis.
Right.
But they've structured a product for each main active ingredient. So I think the difference is like the amount, like the activation time and how long it lasts for.
Yeah.
Where one might be longer than the other. But I think the milligram dosages would be the same between what I've seen.
Well, I got to say, the whole ordering process, you can almost accidentally make a whole ass order. So I think I answered a few questions, waited for like word back, and it was just more out of curiosity, not really knowing what I signed up for. So I got to say, it's a pretty seamless process into actually getting it. So I think you answer a few health questions, your heart work, you got any problems, what's the problem with your dick? And next, you know, it's pretty much in the mail. You're getting it within the same week there. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. And I got to say, I don't need it. It was just more out of curiosity and kind of getting into depth with it.
Tell the truth. You have limp dick.
It doesn't work, guys. I'm 24. Yeah, it's just downhill from here. But yeah, no, it's a pretty seamless process. And, you know, if you need it, then fuck.
I will say that it is a lot more, like, sexy, right? Like, now it's like a product for all ages. Where
they took the shame out of it.
They took the shame out of it, and now made it more, like, now it's, like, truly, like, a party acceptable for everybody.
I think
right, more of an enhancement than like, hey, it's not that you have a problem, you just want a better experience.
Absolutely. And also we could all agree, whether we want to admit it or not, it's that subconscious and conscious confidence that it gives us while being on. You know what I mean?
I don't even know what it does for me, but yeah.
Like extra edge, a PED. You know?
Exactly.
It's like steroids for your dick.
So I guess like so with a younger generation in your 20s using it. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I know that's like a big catering to it, which is good because no one cares about old men fucking.
No.
Right, like that's not a sexy market. No. That's not a good market, right? But in perspective, like if you're a 20-year-old and you're using it, are you now giving yourself like false hope and false confidence where it's going to like affect you later?
Yeah, that's true.
Tequila does the same shit though.
Yeah, but right, you don't have to have tequila every time you have sex.
That's true, but you know,
but it's better.
Well, I mean,
it could be.
It's better.
That's your drink, right?
And also, if we want to take it a little bit, you know, more seriously on a different path, I mean, overall, as a nation, men's testosterone has been declining.
Absolutely.
So this, you know, once you have a natural hormone like that declining, you know, with substances such as alcohol and things of that nature, it's more likely to have erectile issues, you know, rather than not. You know what I mean? So I think more and more individuals at a younger age demographic are having more problems.
Yeah, very well could be.
You know, past.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, yeah. Well, or they didn't talk about past generations. It was just. Yeah, right.
More research on it now.
Right.
I could be wrong, though. Like, but it just seems like it's more common than it was 10, 20 years ago. You know,
well, it's more common to talk about, so we don't even know if that's true or not, right?
That's true.
I bet you in the 50s, if you were in the military and you went off to war and fought, they probably thought your testosterone was high and you were a badass compared to a college kid. Oh, you were in the military, you went to college instead, and you're kind of a pussy.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's a different perspective, right, of what that was compared to like, I mean, I bet you every genre has its own perspective.
Yeah, 100%.
Of what that is. I'm more just curious, like if that's your thing in your 20s, right, and you take it every time to have sex, is that going to affect you mentally to where
I think so.
Do it? Do you lose your confidence because you don't have it, and then also you're like, oh, I can't get it up?
That's a
not
great
realizing
point.
that you could. He's just mentally just
True.
stuck.
Yeah,
You're mentally screwing yourself there.
I think if it becomes a psychological dependency, then it's an issue.
That every time you got to take it.
Correct.
Well, it's just like everything else, right?
Well,
like
yeah.
you get a dependency on it, and you won't
Yeah.
feel like you'll ever perform the same
Like
without
you ever
it,
take
right?
a pre-workout,
It takes you.
and the time you don't take pre-workout,
Oh,
you're like,
100%.
oh, my fucking workout sucked.
Yeah.
Why did it suck? Oh, I didn't have my pre-workout. Maybe it does. It does absolutely affect you with pre-workout because the caffeine and what's in it, right? So that does affect you, and it is a less workout. But I wonder if it's the same scenario.
Yeah.
If we're building the same problem.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's why the subscription aspect is very powerful with this.
Yeah,
as
100%.
well, too.
But who doesn't want to feel superhuman,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, if you can take something where you feel better, perform better, mentally you're stronger in there, and with little to no side effects, right? Then why would you
at
not?
A very fair cost too.
Right, and it's cost effective.
It's friendly to the wallet and friendly to your dick.
Yeah, I mean, why would you not, right? So like
Yeah.
that's the other
It's
thing
as
where
good as it gets, if you're honest.
everybody wants to be superhuman,
That's true.
right? Or at least if you're a good majority of males like to be superhuman. I mean, well, why not?
Well, to go back to that point, like everything's easier to talk about more, or it's more prevalent. You can like talk about these things now rather than say, 6 years ago. I think like goes to steroids as well. I think all the like influencers now feel a lot more comfortable talking about their use rather than like 6 years ago when I was just getting into fitness and stuff like that. It was forbidden to talk to. Like your natty status was something you wanted to keep
Well, no one got
forever,
called out.
right?
Now everyone gets called out on blast.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, like, everybody's like accepting it with open arms. Like, yeah, I'm on trend.
Yeah. It's,
It's kind of big. Yeah, it's been a big flip, right? Which is kind of interesting too, I guess. Like again, just that's about being superhuman.
Yeah.
We're side effects, but like.
yeah, but why do we feel like we have to be superhuman, right? Do you think it's just a change in kind of like things in life now, right? Because I mean, porn's a big
everybody
thing
wants
now,
to-
right?
Well, I
Like,
think there's always an extreme, like in America especially. There's always the ability to push it to the extreme.
yeah.
Like, what's the new level? What's the new extreme you can push it to? What's the new acceptable? Like, what can you push in mainstream that becomes acceptable?
Sure.
Right? And then what's not acceptable? Well, it seems to be like we're tolerating everything at this point. And so that kind of comes the same way with dick pills,
Yeah.
Yeah.
steroids, generology, all the crap, right? Like everything's got to be acceptable. And you have to be okay with everything. Now you can have an opinion with it because there's definitely side effects and pros and cons to all of it. But again, it probably comes down to that ability about being superhuman and then what what comes with it and what it looks like.
Yeah. I mean, now for like considering BlueChew, right? Have you guys ever heard about their products prior to all the social media influence?
No.
No, but have you noticed how young the social
But
media
it used
influence
to
is?
be, but it used to be Hims was like the first in the market game
Yeah.
that was selling easy ED products. Oh, you have an ED issue? You can go to Hims. They kind of started it. Then BlueChew just turned it on and said, "Hey, look, there's a market of like everyone that Hims
Yeah.
was going after, which was a younger market.
Yep.
Basically, just flipped to BlueChew, and BlueChew's like, hey, it's there. So but they're already using it anyway. So let's give them a product.
Well, they knew what they
that's
needed to
catered them.
market to, because you see like the Viagra and Cialis commercials.
yeah.
It's middle-aged men,
Right.
so older age men. You don't ever see young people, marketing Viagra. Where BlueChew, it's the opposite, right? How many older men have you seen marketing BlueChew?
I just
Very
barely
few and in
started seeing
between,
Very
right?
few ads about it, but typically it's a younger, like in
Yeah.
the 20s.
I mean, they have Two-Turn Tony,
Oh, right.
Uh-huh.
and then what's the comedian with him and his girl?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
But even us, right? So 3 different genres: 20s,
Yeah.
30s, 40s. Like you just smashed a whole era right there of a use sector.
That's true.
Right, that where there's a case for it to be used in all sectors, either for pleasure and fun, or because you're getting older, or just whatever
Yeah.
life. Like there's a reason for all of it.
And that's a valid point. And regardless of the age differences, we're all experiencing and relating in the same.
Again, you want to be superhuman. You want to
Yeah.
be confident. You want to feel good. You want to make sure like you're delivering the best experience.
100%.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I don't even know why I got it. It's more out of curiosity.
I mean,
But I mean, I think
but
it relates
You should-
back
you
to
should,
that
like,
though,
give us
right?
Some of those packets, and we'll try
try them out.
Yeah, right. Of all that free time I have with my 4 kids, right? Like, hold on, give me a good hour.
I got one on the way. I'm gonna
You guys sure? Blame me
It's
for
not
the next
physically
one.
possible, but
Yeah, right. I don't know how it happened.
what do they call that? Irish twins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks
God.
to Blue Chew.
Thanks, BlueChew. I have Irish twins. Happy St.
I
Patrick's
didn't know
Day.
this was possible.
Right. I'm not even Irish.
Right.
So this thing about the perspective of it, like if you had to grow BlueChew, what would you, if you're a sales rep,
Yeah.
right? And they fill out the ad form, they get you on the phone, and you're going to pitch this product. What's your first go-to with that?
I mean, I guess it depends on who am I pitching it to. You know what I mean? Because
Well, I mean, just so you
because like,
ideally you go through the doctor, you do all those things, right? So it's not something you're just going to pitch
yeah.
Yeah.
to sell.
Well, I mean,
right?
honestly, correct. Because like if you think about it, with this type of stuff, it's not like you have to pitch it because the consumer is the one actively inquiring.
Correct.
You know
They're
what I
inquiring
mean?
you about it. Now you just got to
Correct.
finalize it.
And the likeliness of them going through that type of application process where you're did you speak with somebody like over
Not
Zoom
at all.
or
No.
nothing? So
You
just
fill
out
out
a
10
questionnaire.
questions, something like that, health related. Then it goes to get processed by a doctor, and then you receive an email if you've been approved or not. And then it's in the mail at that point.
So at that point, it's seamless. So it's a matter of like, okay, what's going to be cost effective or what grabs the consumer's attention. So between Hims and, for example, BlueChew does a better job of grabbing that attention from the consumer aspect, and then they make it seamless. So
then if you're BlueChew, do you add on a secondary product?
well, they do. They do have secondary products. They have like an integrated multivitamin.
Yeah, I'm just saying because like Hims has a whole line of products.
Yeah, it's a little
right?
bit of everything.
They started with kind of ED
And then
they
they'd have the whole
expanded
hair.
out.
Hims does like the hair
The hair, which was
stuff,
big
and
too,
then-
right? For them.
Yeah.
So if you're BlueChew, right? So really it's a marketing play that turns into a sale. So do you double down and show the benefits of it? Do you do more of true life stories? Do you double down on podcasts? What do you do to
Well, do they
spread
need
the word?
to? Because like, how much of the market have they captured compared to their competitors that have multiple?
Well, their
products?
competitors like Viagra and Cialis. And the
Well, but they
dogs.
wouldn't want to touch their competitors, right? Because you start.
Well, you're using your competitors' ingredients in your products. If you were going to
But
talk
Yeah.
about
I'm just
them.
saying, like,
Sure.
so there's a market they don't have. The guy that's never gonna fill out a form and is gonna go to his doctor and be like, "Hey, I've
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Something that wants to be discreet, seamless, and quick, right? Without having to think about it too much to where it becomes an issue. Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Right? It's in the mail and there in 7 days, and I didn't have to talk to anybody about it. Rather than having to go to your doctor, rather than having to do, like that checkup and all
Yeah.
that stuff with Viagra and Cialis. And, it was pretty seamless and quick for pretty much anybody there.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I wanted to touch on, like, I don't think it would be smart for BlueChew to market to the older demographic. I think they've done so well with the 20 and 30-year-olds right now, and finding.
So do you think you just double down on the 20, 30-year-olds?
Absolutely.
Right? So the 20 to 40s with disposable income, and you just double down on what you're doing? Do you expand your market? Do you have more of a case where like, hey, we want to give more real life scenarios? The ads I always see for them now is like the dude and the girl,
That's it.
right?
Right.
Like, and that's it.
It works.
It works. Yeah, it makes sense. Get it.
Because then you see someone,
It
relatable
works
to your
for the-
age,
it
you're like,
works for
okay.
the 20-year-old, I could care less about that at 40.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not at all.
Right? Like, I don't give a fuck. So that's not gonna make any difference to me.
So what would make a difference in your eyes for your age demographic?
It would have to be more just relatable, right? So
In
if
the
you want
marketing?
to take out the 40s, yeah. So the relatable of that is going to be the dad, the businessman, the executive, them using it.
But I think you're coming from a place where you don't necessarily need it, right?
Correct.
Okay, so, but if you
like,
did need it,
you don't need it either.
no. And
Right?
but the age did market, so I know what you're saying
So
exactly.
what I'm saying is like the perspective of it is like, well, at 40, everyone wants to be fucking if I need it or not.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm not gonna. I try everything else. Why would I not try this?
Sure.
Right? So in perspective, like, are they missing a market there? They're doing great in the 20s. Right? 20s and 30s, they're slamming it up, and it's probably more of a party favorite than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, they even advertise like out at the club, like, show, like, look what I have. Right?
And those are things you really don't relate to, right? Like
Well, I
yourself.
don't know, but I'm 40. So
no,
it's
no.
different.
Yeah, but I think it would just come down to if you need that, they need to double down on what the process
Yeah,
looks
so
like,
if I needed
how
that,
seamless it looks,
Then I would just go to the doctor.
how discreet. Would you though?
Yeah, going for everything else. But I have.
If you know
like
you're
a-
getting the same ingredient.
Oh yeah,
for-
no, I would. Well, I wouldn't be opposed to using them. It just doesn't appeal to me right away.
Yeah, sure.
That's all. The company's great. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
It's easy,
no.
It's simple. It's better than what I can probably get from the doctor, hands down. I'm just curious, like, if you're them.
I just wonder where the price points stand. Does it end up being,
Well-
you know, exponentially expensive going to your doctor and doing all that rather than
No, it's
just
whatever
getting...
insurance covers.
No, right.
So it's cheap. It's
Yeah,
a prescription.
Correct. Well, maybe that's the other aspect of it is,
Right.
you know, the insurance and the coverage
Yeah.
behind it. So,
But also, I'm in the demographic that has like a large disposable income,
Sure.
right? So like, I wouldn't care if I had to pay more. It would make no difference
correct.
if that was an issue. Now, if I want to use it just for because I want to try it, or just hey, like it's not an everyday thing, and I just want to be a superhuman, right? Which men in their 40s are looking at TRT, looking at peptides. They're
Peptides,
diving
yeah.
into everything because they're starting to feel it, right?
Yeah.
Like everything's different, everything's changing. So you want to make sure, like,
Or
Or
wanna
this to
perform.
be
even,
added to
prevent,
it.
like with that type of stuff, just preventative care too.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That's why peptides is a huge
Yeah.
money maker in that industry. It's because like you get that competitive quote unquote edge without
Yeah.
having to be dependent on a compound.
Anything
such as
from mental
TRT.
clearness
Oh,
to
yeah.
recovery.
Anti-aging.
Well, peptides are
anti-aging.
great. Like in school, I did some research on peptides
Yeah.
and like the ability they have to help your
Correct.
body function in a different
Absolutely.
way and quickly. And you can see why they're getting banned and all that stuff now, right?
Well, because
Because-
Big Pharma wants to
was
jump
Exactly.
in. Yeah,
Absolutely. You know, the good, clean ones are seen the ones to be banned.
Correct.
And
All the
able
really
to-
good ones that are really
Correct.
effective, they have great trials on it.
Yeah.
Like, these actually work. Those are the ones that are getting banned because pharma's trying to make them themselves to do. it.
Absolutely.
So, which makes sense. But back to BlueChew. In perspective, right? I think there's a case study, 20, 30, 40-year-olds across the board. There's a need for it. There's a want for it. Either because you have an issue or you just want to be better.
Yeah.
Right, and I think they're doing a bang-up job in
Yeah.
a lot of areas. I don't see a lot of it at my age range, but there's probably a huge market for it.
Should we do a trial area? We all try it.
Yeah, we could all sign up for it, go through and see what it says.
Probably should.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Talk through it, probably should.
I'm already 3 months
Podcast
into a
has lasted
subscription.
one
Like,
episode.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'd probably recommend anybody, right? Like I don't know that there's any. Of course, do your due diligence. I'm not telling you that you got to have it, right? That's not what I'm saying. But I think that anybody should look into it and give it a whirl if they feel like they just want to perform better,
Yeah.
right? Hands down. Doesn't hurt.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's just with everything in life, though. Like, you know what I mean? If there's something that's going to make you perform better, it's going across your mind to
And
use
if
it.
you have and it's also, you know, if you're having a positive experience behind this product and it's on a subscription, are you going to cancel it? Probably
No,
not.
of course
Hell
not.
no.
You know?
No.
Probably not.
And like most subscriptions, you forget about it,
Correct.
and it just keeps going and going. And that's why you do the subscription model.
Especially if
'Cause
it's
you
not
just
breaking
forget.
the bank
Yeah,
either.
right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
okay, $20, $30,
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah, in the
whatever it
20s,
may
though,
be.
that's like a transition period as to where it's going to break the bank or not break the bank,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because, I mean, my first job out of college, like, would say I got pretty lucky. And, you know, I've transitioned and grown in that position to where it's become pretty successful on my end, especially for my first job. But there's also people my age still just finishing up college and, you know, just getting into
So
that.
for some perspective,
Right.
this guy lands his first job and makes $10K in just commission plus every
Salary,
month.
Yeah.
In and out. And that's plus his salary and $10K in commission, right? So like he's blown. First job is, you know, gonna clear six figures, which is pretty challenging. Are you 23?
Hard to
24?
find. Yeah, and I mean, I would have stuck in Tucson, you know, working on the campus there, making $45,000 a year there, doing something I didn't want to do just to finish up another degree. So I made the leap, $300 in my account, decided to come to Phoenix and you know, try and figure it out. So I mean, it's worked out.
And it worked out, right? Sales is truly a powerful tool to make money, hands down. That's why we're talking about businesses and money and sales, because it's a game changer. It's gonna open a lot of doors for you.
Yeah. Especially with the right products, right atmosphere, right resources.
Absolutely.
There's absolutely no reason why you cannot attain those goals.
No.
I think you can even have a mediocre product
That's true.
that's
yeah.
questionable at best that can still have great success. You just got to know how to navigate through it, right? And I know some of the companies we talk about will probably have a better deep dive into like, how do you restructure it? What do you do? What
Absolutely.
is your call script? Or like, is it cold calls? Is it emails? Is it text? How do you get into that barrier to break it? BlueChew, not so much, right? Because it's not a sellable product; it's more of an advertising product.
Yeah.
You know that's that's a need for everyone.
And also to harp on the perspectives. I mean, we all give a different perspective on the product we're selling, right? Initially,
Sure.
like being young here, I mean, some of these products to me are like, what the fuck? And then getting a, perspective from Eric or Jacob on how, to reach a potential client in a different position. I mean, it helps, right? And regardless of whatever field you're in of sales, I think.
No, absolutely, 100%. So everyone, please subscribe. Please put in the comments if you have an experience with BlueChew, good, bad, negative. Let us know about it. Let us know your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
We'd love some feedback and
what the
interact with you guys.
experience is.
Go jump. We're not being. They don't sponsor us. They're not paying
No.
us. So if you sign up with them, we don't get any kickback. But we'd love any feedback, or if there's any other companies or products you guys love to use, let us know down below.